Hello. You must be getting sick of me just entering the frame and then sitting down. I'm sorry, I don't know how to edit these things better. Anyway, if you can put up with it, I can too. Today I'm here to talk about the assignment task for the continuous improvement unit that's in the management diploma. The unit is actually called Facilitate Continuous Improvement, because as the manager I was there to not just implement but also design and facilitate. The unit number is BSBMGT516C. That's the most up-to-date one. So as usual, there are two parts to the assignment. Part A is a test of your knowledge and hopefully a bit of research and the reading you've done from the toolbox chapters, the workshop notes or the textbook, and any other sources that you could get hold of. And there are three tasks in this part A. So firstly, compare and contrast two quality assurance programs used in business and industry, outlining the strengths and weaknesses of each. So quality assurance programs, what are they? So the ISO series, 9001 series or 14000 series, they're examples of quality assurance systems. HACCP is another one that's used in industry, particularly with food related things. There are plenty of different ones for food production. Six Sigma is an extension of a quality assurance system. It's more a continuous improvement one, but I'm happy for you to talk about that. Or lean manufacturing, that's another one that's very popular these days. So if you can just come up with a couple, I'd like to know the differences between them and what are the strengths and weaknesses of each. So it's a proper analysis, a compare and contrast activity. So I'm going to move on to task 2 now. Discuss how a knowledge management system, so that's described in the unit if you look at the actual unit descriptor. However, we can interpret a knowledge management system as being planning for professional learning, incorporating learning and performance management, and sharing learning within and across teams in the organisation. That would be a knowledge management system. So it's accumulating knowledge, make sure we share it, make sure we recognise it in performance management and maybe include it in learning requirements in performance management. So that's what the knowledge management system is, but you have to talk about how it could support the sustainability of an organisation. So sustainability here is obviously, will it survive into the future? And how will the learning that's being managed, or the knowledge management system, how will that help that or hinder it? So a little bit to talk about there. I think the answer is fairly obvious, but need a few paragraphs at least. Okay, task number 3. Discuss the meaning of the triple bottom line and how each component contributes to the sustainability of an organisation. Sustainability again, my God, that's twice we've used that word. So, the triple bottom line. I don't think it's actually referred to in any of the notes. And I thought everyone knew what it was, but not everyone does, so I'm going to talk about it now. The triple bottom line. We all know about what the bottom line is, just the one that's commonly used, and that's the financial performance of an organisation. You see that in the financial part of the paper all the time, reported on TV, all that sort of stuff. So that's the bottom line, how profitable, what the return on assets is, all that sort of stuff. That's one bottom line. But there's two others. The second one is environmental performance. How well do we manage our waste? How well do we recycle, reuse and reduce energy and all the rest of it and all the other products? That's environmental performance. Do we degrade the environment because of our operations? Obviously, if we drive cars or whatever as part of it, then that is an environmental issue. So everybody has an environmental footprint, and an organisation does too. And obviously, if we mess the environment up, particularly if we're in a food producing business, that's going to impact on our sustainability quite a lot, let alone the sustainability of managing the land. So that's another aspect of sustainability. So what's the third one? The third one is to do with communities. In other words, the social responsibility that companies and organisations have in their community. So it could be seen as sending production offshore to countries where it's much cheaper. The unfortunate example in Bangladesh recently, where the building collapsed on people who were paid a pittance to produce clothes for you and me, and maybe this is an example. This is a River shirt and I think Rivers was one of the companies involved. I don't know that for sure though, so please don't assume or anything. Yes, but there's a social responsibility to how companies operate and organisations too. And also that fits in with how they work within their community. Do they maintain a register of how people volunteer in their community? Do they actually promote that within the organisation? Do they sponsor community groups? Excuse me, sorry about that. So there's lots of aspects to that. So that's the triple bottom line. One's the financial, one's the environmental performance, and the other one is the social performance. And big corporations like Westpac and others, in their financial reports or the end of year reports, they'll have something about those whole three. So, a bit of discussion there about those in task 3. Going to move on to part B now, and there's only one task here really. The second task is an optional one if you don't want to do the first one, and that's actually to develop a quality system. And there's a fair bit of work in that, and so I guess most people will shy away from that, but certainly if you haven't got one, it's a great opportunity to develop a system for your organisation that will be used and will be useful, and you'll learn heaps from doing that. However, no doubt for most of you, you'll choose task 1. And remember, I don't want anyone to start these assignment tasks until you've finished the learning phase. In other words, looking at the learning chapters in a toolbox, workshop notes, any other research you've done, and the textbook. Okay, so here we go, task 1. It's a big report. A big report. So we expect a report to be in 1.5 line spacing, so there's a bit of room. I think this assignment's sort of set up in that style. Most reports are in that format. There's going to be quite a few words in this. I hesitate to give you an exact number, but a couple of thousand words I expect it would take to finish this report. What else? The format of the report should be readable to senior managers, but also to your colleagues and team members. We're trying to convince them about what's the value of the system we've got, if you like, and how we can improve the quality of our quality system. And it should also utilise tools that make the document user-friendly. So if you've got any diagrams, charts, tables, things like that, they actually add to the user-friendliness of the document. And also, they're probably worth a few words. A picture's worth 1,000 words, I think. So 2 pictures, you've done it. No, not quite. I need the explanations as well. All right, now task 1A. Briefly describe the existing quality system that is currently being used in your or another work area, specifically highlighting the documentation that's in place, the processes and procedures, the checks and audits that are built into the system. So they're the 3 components of a quality system, I think you'll find from the notes. So it's, in other words, it's saying what you do, doing what you say, and then checking that you actually do it. That's those 3 components. So a description of that. So that's going to be a very, very long one, but I certainly has to cover enough that I understand it. Then part B then in this report, critically examine and report on the following points, making recommendations for improvements where appropriate. So this is now your analysis of those systems you just described and telling me about, I'll go through them, the effectiveness of the system. So how does it work in reality, not just how it's written up? How does it improve processes, procedures and customer service? Is that a feature of it? Encourage team members' ideas and support, such as coaching and mentoring. But there could be other ways to encourage team members' ideas as well. Make effective use of technology in order to monitor operational progress. So, like some organisations will have workstations all along the production process, say, and people can see the rate of completions that everybody's got. But it might just be to use spreadsheets or databases or other bits of technology that help monitor progress on any operational requirement. Communicate processes, successes and documentation of work team performance, including examples of charts, graphs, and other visual tools. It says here in brackets, include some samples with your work. Okay, so I need to see that you can use and understand these particular tools. So they're described in the notes and in the textbook. I'd like to see you use them. So there could be Pareto charts, histograms, bar charts, pie charts, control charts, checkerboard documentation, all those sort of things. But I need to see some that you use or are used. We're down to part V1, which is 6. Communicate the continuous improvement process to all stakeholders. Then address environmental and resource sustainability initiatives and corporate responsibility, social responsibility. Sorry, getting mixed up here. So address environmental and resource sustainability initiatives, corporate social responsibility considerations for sustainability to enhance the organisation's standing in business and community environments. Poof, that was a bit of a mouthful, I'm sorry I messed it up. Anyway, it's like that triple bottom line stuff. What things are in place that actually make us a sustainable business, both in the business and community sense. And then finally, take account of recorded improvements and opportunities for improvement in future planning. So how is that actually embedded, if you like, in the processes? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's not a good thing to do on a video, is it? Anyway, I'm running out of words, obviously, running out of breath. That's the end of what's required for that format, what goes in that report. I think by the time you finish that, you'll have a really thorough understanding of what continuous improvement is, and particularly quality programs and total quality management. And I'll be happy with that. So in about 6 weeks' time, I'll get to see what you've written. All the best with it, and good luck.